I wanted to take a moment and give a big thank you to all of my patrons for all your support. Thank you guys. You guys keep me going. I appreciate it. If you like this video, please consider clicking the like button or hitting the subscribe button. It really helps the channel out, and I definitely appreciate it. It definitely helps me make more content. Welcome to the Twisted Tentacle Inn. I'm your Innkeeper, and today we will be discussing the subclasses in Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. Today we'll be focusing on the monk. This video series is not an in-depth review. This is just my first impressions on these subclasses. After I've played with them on the table or watch someone play with them, then I might form different impressions of them. But as of right now, this is where my first impressions are. So today we're going to start with the monk. We're going to be doing the Way of Mercy monk. So at their level, you get the Hand of Healing feature. You can use an action and a key point to heal people or yourself. Or if you're using the Flurry of Blows ability, you can forego one of your attacks from Flurry of Blows and instead use this healing feature without using an action or a key point. So I love this. This is awesome. I like getting the option to either use a resource to use the ability or be able to use the ability without having to spend resources. It's fantastic. I really like it. The healing is better at lower levels. It doesn't scale as well when you get to the higher levels, but hey, healing every round for free without using a resource is pretty impactful, and it's something that I think you'll find, even though the numbers aren't as good at higher levels, you'll find that it actually makes a huge difference in your games. At third level, you also get the Hand of Harm ability. So this one, you can deal a key point to do extra necrotic damage with an attack. You can use this once per turn. That's fine. I love that this subclass already has two great options that they can do, either boost damage or heal in combat, so they have the duality there. I love it. At 6th level, you get Physician's Touch. When you heal with your 3rd level ability, you can end a disease, and in addition to that, you can end a condition from a creature. The conditions can cure blinded, deafened, paralyzed, poisoned, or stunned. It's awesome. These are conditions that, especially at higher levels, even like 6th level, starting at 6th level, you will start seeing these conditions quite often, especially in big fights. And being able to end them on your allies is so impactful, especially something like paralyzed or stunned. That can really take someone out of a combat, and they'll be super grateful that you're able to prevent that from happening to them. I think this ability, honestly, is super top tier. And the best part about it, say for example, if you cast a restoration spell, it's not going to heal damage. Generally, if you cast Greater Restoration, it's going to take an action and a high-level spell slot, whereas this ability heals damage and uses basically the effects of a restoration spell without a spell slot or an action, which is fantastic. I mean, top tier. Also, at this level, when you use the Hand of Harm on a creature, you can cause them to get the poison condition until the end of your next turn. Not as good. Normally, I would say it's pretty poor of an ability because there's so many creatures that are immune to the poison condition. But the fact that they don't even get a saving throw on this makes it a little bit better. So I don't think this is poor. Even though there's so many creatures that are immune to poison, the fact that they don't get a saving throw means that the creatures that aren't immune to poison are going to really, really hate you when you fight them, because you can just do this to them and they don't get a saving throw or anything. I love it. And the best part, it doesn't take any extra resources from you. It's just doing things that you're normally going to be doing, and they get the poison condition. Wow. At 11th level, you get the Flurry of Healing and Harm. So when you use Flurry of Blows, you can heal instead of attacking for every unarmed strike you do. So before, you could give up one attack from your Flurry of Blows to heal. Now, all of your attacks that are unarmed, instead, you can heal with each one, which is really, really good. Or instead, for one of your unarmed attacks, you can deal extra damage from the Hand of Harm ability without having to use up a key point. Again, really, really good. Or instead, for one of your unarmed attacks, you can deal extra damage from the Hand of Harm ability without using a key point, which is awesome. It's only for one unarmed attack that round, whatever, but it's still nice to have that extra additional damage. It's not going to outdamage a fighter, but it's awesome that you can do this every time that you use the Flurry of Blows ability, which is going to be pretty often in combat. And then your capstone at 17th level is the Hand of Ultimate Mercy. Once per long rest, you can revive a creature that died within the past 24 hours, and all it costs is 5 key points. No material components, nothing. That's amazing. And the conditions that are on the creature, a lot of those conditions are ended when you use this ability. So not much else to say here. It's really powerful. Being able to revive an ally, fantastic, fantastic. So the Way of Mercy Monk is a great monk subclass. Generally, I don't like monks. I think they're really weak. But the theme and the mechanics for this subclass really they make me want to play a monk. I really, really like this subclass a lot. I wouldn't be surprised if within the next year we see a majority of players who are playing monk are actually playing this subclass above most others. It is that good. All right, next up is the Way of Astral Self. So at 3rd level, you get the Arms of the Astral Self feature. So you can spend a key point and a bonus action, and you summon these spectral arms that float around you. And they deal damage to any creature that you choose within 10 feet when you first summon these arms, but they have to fail a dexterity saving throw. The arms then stay there for 10 minutes, and you get some extra benefits while they're around. So you can use your Wisdom modifier in place of Strength when making strength checks and saving throws. You can use the spectral arms to make unarmed strikes instead of your normal ones. When you make an unarmed strike with the arms, your reach is 5 foot more than it normally is. That's nice. And the unarmed strikes you make with the arms can use your Wisdom modifier instead of Strength or Dexterity for the attack and damage rolls. And they do force damage instead of the regular blunt damage. So that's interesting. This one is a good ability. For just 1 key point, you get a few benefits, and they last for a long time. The extra reach is pretty nice, and the additional damage when you first summon them is really good at lower levels. It doesn't scale well at higher levels, but it's still nice that it's there. At 6th level, you get the Visage of the Astral Self feature. So you can summon this other Visage thing as a bonus action and spending a key point. If you use this ability, you can also summon your arms as part of the same bonus action. So it's nice that it doesn't take up additional action economy from you to be able to summon the arms if you wanted to do that as well. You get both for the same bonus action. You do have to spend a key point for the other one though. So when you use this, you get Dark Vision, and you can see in magical darkness for up to 120 feet. Really good. Remember that seeing in darkness is one thing, but seeing in magical darkness, that's really helpful. You also have advantage on insight and intimidation checks. And if you speak, you can have it so that only one creature can understand what you're saying. And that's going to be within 60 feet. Or you can make it so creatures within 600 feet all hear what you're saying. So something of a situational ability, but it can have certain, benefits for utility. It's okay. At 11th level, you get the Body of the Astral Self. So when you summon your arms and visage, you get additional benefits while they're in play. You can use your reaction to reduce damage from acid, cold, fire, force, lightning, or thunder. Not bad. It's handy. I like that you can use it every single round. That's nice. The reduction is probably not going to remove all damage from the type that you choose, but hey, it's a decent amount, and it can be used every round, so it's really going to add up. Once per turn, you can do extra damage when you hit with your spectral arms. The damage is not a tremendous amount, but you can use this every round, so that can add up too. So this ability is okay. It allows you to get much more damage and defense that you definitely need as a monk. Overall, the damage reduction and additional damage aren't tremendous, but they help. A little boring, but it's okay. And then your capstone at 17th level is the Awaken Astral Self ability. You can spend a bonus action and 5 key points, and you get a few more benefits for 10 minutes, or if you're incapacitated or you die. So you get a +2 to your AC, and when you use the extra attack feature to attack twice, you can instead attack 3 times if all the attacks are made with your astral arms. Yeah, that's all right. It's not a tremendous benefit. It's not going to turn the tide of combat. But, like a lot of these bonuses, it's nice to have it. That's it. So to summarize, The Astral Self is pretty much a damage and defense subclass, nothing more. There's very little that they get that can help outside of combat, which is unfortunate. Monk clearly is not the best class to pick if you just want to focus on single target fighting and stuff. I wish it had a bit more going for it. Instead, you just get like this laser focus on combat, which is fine, I guess. The theme is cool. I'm not sure that it was executed as well as I would have expected. I think that the knowledge of the self could have led to some more interesting abilities, but unfortunately, this one just kind of falls short. Mechanically, the subclass is fine, and you're not going to feel like you're inferior to other monk subclasses. In fact, some of the abilities are really standouts, but a lot of the others are just mediocre, to be honest. So I think the Astral Self falls right in the middle of the pack in regards to mechanical prowess. But I think as far as theme, it's pretty weak. It feels kind of boring. On the other hand, the Mercy Monk has some really interesting mechanics, and it oozes flavor. And you have a bunch of options to heal or harm others, and you have different tactical options that you can choose to do in combat. It's definitely better as far as a group dynamic than the self-preservation nature of the Astral Self Monk. Mechanically, the Way of Mercy also really stands out as a solid monk subclass. It lands near the top of the tier rankings for all other monks. So let's go ahead and rank these subclasses. I think you know where they both stand for me. Just a quick note on the rankings. These are based on rankings within its own class. So I'm only basing, let's say, top tier, middle tier, low tier based on against other monk subclasses. Clearly, judging a subclass versus other subclasses from a different class, it's not necessarily fair because different classes have different roles within a party. So as far as within the monk subclasses, let's take a look here. On the bottom tier, we have none. For mid-tier, we have the Way of the Astral Self, and it's almost in the top tier, but it's missing something. And then for top tier, we have the Way of Mercy Monk. So that's it for my first impressions on the monk subclasses in Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. I hope that you found this video helpful. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down there in the comments down below. As always, I'm your Innkeeper, and this is the Twisted Tentacle Inn. Check in anytime. I'll talk with you then. Hey Google, turn off the Christmas lights. Hey Google, turn off the Christmas lights. Hey Google, turn off the Christmas lights. Mother. Hey Google. Oh. Hey Google, turn off the Christmas tree. Fucking A.